Welcome. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, depending upon that. Welcome to Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmaster club for the leadership development. We are one of the top five clubs globally. I am Paramjit Singh, joining in from Dubai, your sergeant at arms for the meeting. We provide a sportive and positive learning experience in which members are empowered to develop communication and leadership skills, resulting in greater self-confidence and personal growth. Leadership Speak is the premier club for experienced Toastmasters to become better self-directed leaders. We are an advanced club focused primarily on leadership development in everything we do. Our timer has virtually hand raised, so we all can immediately see who is keeping the time. Today, our TMOD, who will read our meeting, is Brahm, Toastmaster, DTM Brahm. Brahm has been Toastmaster for 28 years with 3 DTMs. He is a leadership coach and a trainer, consulting and training in large organizations, as well as the personal online training courses. He has a penchant for large HPL projects. Thousands of Toastmasters have attended his HPL project events since the pandemic 4 years ago. He has a lot of things in his career. Club Coach of the Year on District 86. Founder of Leadership Speak, an advanced Toastmaster club with over 58 members from 28 countries. Leadership Speak attained the spot of the top club globally in 2 short years since its charter in February 2022 during the pandemic. His professional coaching program, Pro Speak and Lead, is consistently rated as 5-star training program. Today, he is leading this meeting as the Toastmaster of the Day, which is a level 4 project from Pathways, managing an online meeting with the theme Lead with the Presence. Please help me welcome Toastmaster Brahm Memon. Toastmaster Brahm Memon, the stage is all yours.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the open house. Welcome to Leadership Speak. Now, you just heard that it is the top club globally. It is. We are not just boasting, we don't boast. We show what we do by our numbers and what we do through the numbers, which are easily seen on the dashboard, and how we do. Let me just take you through a journey about Leadership Speak first. The theme today is Lead with Presence. And rather than telling you about leading with presence and you know what it really means and all that, I will not really go into that. Instead, what I will do is I will tell you a little bit about Leadership Speak and what we do here and why we exist. And that will perhaps give you an indication of why we lead with presence. So I'm going to sort of demonstrate that practically rather than give you a lecture or a presentation about leading with presence. Fair enough? Now, before I do that, however, as we all know, guests are the most important things to us. So, dear guests, if you are a guest and if you are not a member of Leadership Speak, come in, listen to me. Thank you so much for being here today. Mr. Zoom Master, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, if you can sort out the recording. Thank you. And if the Zoom Master can take control of spotlighting when needed. Thank you. So, as I was saying, our guests are very, very important to us. And I can see that as I'm talking, a lot of people are still coming in, which are, of course, our guests. They're just joining in. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here with us. Thank you for wanting to know a little bit more about Leadership Speak. And of course, you will also hear from the world champion of public speaking herself in a few minutes. But if you are a guest in the chat, let's have a conversation. All right. Let me know what country you are from. So I can see Doug Flowers is from Horizon Toastmasters in Oakville. Somebody's from China. Victoria is from China. Oh my goodness, that's like 12 hours away. Manoj Dalai from India. You got somebody from Tanzania, Zimbabwe. Kolkata. Manoj, awesome. And Philippa Chengeda from Zimbabwe. Philippa, how are you? So good to see you here today. Now, if you are a member of Leadership Speak, we are from 28 different countries, from one side to the other, 14 time zones covered, 28 different countries, 28 different flags. So if you are from Leadership Speak, put it in the chat what country you're from and say member. Country and just say member. So the guests know that you are a member. Thank you, Manoj. I look classy. Thank you. We got people from Kenya, Angola. See, these are all the members. UAE and Bangladesh just joined. Guyana, Switzerland, Nigeria, and so on. Thank you. South Africa. So we have a lot of countries represented: Kenya, Uganda, even Tanzania, which is East Africa. I come from East Africa. Actually was born in Kenya. So we have quite a number of people from Kenya who speak Swahili. So let me just say, Jambo habari yenu. That is Swahili for how are you all, to my members from Kenya who speak Swahili with me. Manoj Dalai is very busy in the chat. Thank you, Manoj. International integration. After the meeting, you can explain to me what you mean by that. But thank you so much all for indulging with me. We even have people from Turkey, Iran, would you believe it? And Angola, South Africa, Namibia. The person from Namibia isn't here. She's away today. Great friend of mine. Hyderabad, India. Suresh, amazing. Buhari from Nigeria. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, you can get the gist of the number of countries that we are from and the different cultures and different way of thinking and so on. But what really brings us together, what brings any Toastmaster together with other Toastmasters is simply our values: integrity, respect, service, and excellence. And we live by those values in Leadership Speak. Especially, we pay real deep attention to service and excellence. Now, let me explain to you what I mean by service and excellence and the attention that we pay to that. So, first of all, guests, thank you for introducing yourself as to which country you're from. The fire is on so that you can come around and sit around the fire with me. Let's have a fireside chat later on at the end of the meeting. But there's a guest book link that has just been posted in the chat. And Dan, if you can repost that link, thank you very much, Dan or Irene. Thank you. So if you want to know more about Leadership Speak, if you want to give us some feedback, well, feedback, of course, would be at the end. But if you want to know more about Leadership Speak, the guest book is right there. Start to complete the guest book, fill it in. Even if you don't want to be a member, fill it in and tell us in a column that says, do you want to be a member? Just say no. If you want to be a member and you want to know more, say yes. Give us some comments. We thrive on what our guests think about us and how they view this particular meeting as well. Having said that, if I can get my technology right and it's coming on, perfect. So now let me just quickly explain to you why we are the top club globally. Now, by the way, this is the real trophy. It's lying there behind me, the Club of the Year, achieved Club of the Year. So there it is. That's the. I think I better put it down because it will be interfering with the what I'm going to about to show you on the screen behind me about why Leadership Speak exists or what's it all about. So, ladies and gentlemen, here are the highlights about Leadership Speak. It's an open house. We are leading with presence today. So our club vision and mandate is simply this: to be better self-directed leaders, right? Which is what Toastmasters program is all about. It's about being better at leading yourself, right? Nobody's going to tell you what to do. I mean, the VP of Education might say, hey, when is your next speech or so on. But really, it boils down to you taking charge of your journey. That's what a Toastmasters Club is all about, right? So besides that, I mean, I switched off my video so you could see what's going on behind there. We were chartered on February the 17th, 2022. 1 week from launch. So we launched on February the 12th. We were chartered by February the 17th. Within a week, we had 20, 21, 22 members actually. Okay. We attained President's Distinguished in June 2022. So from February 17th to June 2022, we were President's Distinguished in 4 months. In 2023, 2024, every year we are President's Distinguished. If you go on the dashboard right now, for those of you who know what the dashboard means, most of our guests here are, of course, already Toastmasters because this is an advanced Toastmasters club. So you know how to look up a dashboard. And if you go there today, it will show you that we already have 9 DCP points. If you go there by the end of November, we'll have 10 because all the 7 officers will be trained. We insist that all officers go and train, all 7 of them, and we'll have 10 out of 10 points. Of course, the actual distinguished points are counted at the end of March when we renew. So that's when we will, of course, well, where all clubs are then designated their, whether they are President's Distinguished or whatever distinguished they are. In June of 2023 and 2024, in 2023, we were one of the top 5 clubs. By 2024, we were the top club out of, right now, probably even 15,000 clubs. We sit right at the top, not only because of the education awards. Last year, we ended our education awards at 158 education awards, which is June of 2024. And of course, we were awarded Club of the Year in 2023. We are still waiting for the district to announce the Club of the Year, which will be announced in January this year for June of 2024. So our district is just taking its time in announcing those things. We hope, of course, Leadership Speak will be announced, but we don't know. Currently, we have 58 members, of which about 52 or so are actively engaged in the club. Our club success plan is very, very different from DCP points. So we hit 10 points by November, as I said, but our club success plan is very, very different. Our success plan is based on quality, as to do we have quality in the club, right? And are we serving our members? Are we serving our guests? And what are we doing to serve our members and guests? And our members will attest to it, that we do lead with presence because we have constant trainings. And including today, we have a world champion of public speaking to us. And then we have large HPL events that I do, and it's all the benefit for our club. So that is why we are successful is the things that we do, not that we push our members, hey, do the numbers so we can be at the top. Numbers can never drive quality. Let me assure you that. Numbers can never drive quality, right? But quality will always drive number, and that creates engagement. And that's why we are a highly engaged club. Engagement means what? It means there's presence, that everybody's leading with presence. So that's, sorry. So rather than tell you what leading with presence means, now you know what lead with presence means. The numbers speak for themselves, the quality speaks for itself, and what we do in our club. All members here, 58 of them, well, 52 perhaps, who are engaged, understand the value of leadership speak. And that's why we have members from 28 different countries. We don't mind adding a few more countries to our list and the flags that we have. And we would be pleased if you are from a country that is not on our list, please do join. So invite you again to fill out the guest book for us. And if you want somebody to contact you, the VP of membership, normally, who isn't here today, she had to be called away at her own district. So she will be in contact with you, and you can get the process going of becoming a member if you wish. If there's any questions from the guests, if there's a burning question from the guest with regards to anything that I've said, put it in the chat and I will answer it as I go along. All right, and thank you for answering. Somebody probably asked, is it a hybrid or online? And so, as you can see, this is an online club, 100% online club. That's why we are online. It's on Zoom. We don't have hybrid meetings because we are from 28 different countries. So we can't have hybrid meetings like some people are in a room and some people are online. We are spread out all over the place. The nearest person to me who is a member is a few hours away. Actually, oh no, there's one member who joined recently. He works in Sudbury, but lives about half an hour away from me. That's the nearest member. But most members who are within District 86 and leadership speakers in District 86, the nearest person is perhaps, besides the person who's just near to me, is like a couple of hours away, or about maybe a bit nearer than that, 1.5 hours perhaps. So there you go. It's a very big area we covered, 14 hours of time zones from east to west, from Calgary to Indonesia. Okay, having said that, ladies and gentlemen, again, Manoj Dalai, you can attend as a guest as many times as you like. This is an advanced club. If you want to be a member, you need to have level 3 of Pathways done, then you can apply for a member. But please do attend as much as you can, as long as you can, as a guest. There are no restrictions. Take what you can from here and use it in your club. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, having said that, once more, guests, please fill in the guest book for me. And now I will go on to raising the toast. We raise the toast in our club. For those there are some countries that don't raise the toast and they don't know what the raising a toast is. It's part of a social speech. And Deborah Walker today is going to raise the toast. Madam Zoom Master, Deborah, how are you?
I am very well. How are you?
How are you feeling now?
Good. Very
Great,
good.
awesome, superb. Is it cold where you are in Saskatchewan?
No, it is beautiful outside. Can't believe it.
Really?
There's no snow yet. And yesterday it was 9 degrees and sunny, and the weekend is supposed to be beautiful. That is unusual for November. It is dark out and it should be cold out, but it is not yet.
Awesome. Well, over to you, Deborah, to deliver your toast.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. Imagine that you are standing in a room full of people that you lead. You speak to them for half an hour and then you walk out. At last week's meeting, Toastmaster Vinod Panikkar shared with us Everyone brings happiness to this room, some when they arrive and some when they leave. Whom do you want to be? What I believe he was referring to is presence, and presence is found in all leaders at all levels of an organization. But what exactly does leading with presence mean? I believe we can define it with the acronym CCM. Leading with presence means connecting authentically. By connecting with the thoughts and feelings of others, you bring people and teams together. It is a true strength. Leading with presence also means building confidence in others. Everyone, at one time or another, needs a little boost. And by connecting with others and building confidence in them, we can uplift and inspire those that we lead. And lastly, leading with presence means motivating people to take action. No one can move forward without action. By connecting with people and building confidence in them, leaders can motivate them to take that next step. When you enter a room, what presence do you bring? Do you connect authentically with others? Do you build confidence in others? Do you motivate others to take action? As Vinod said, everyone brings something to the room. Please raise your glasses with me as we toast leading with presence. Leading with presence.
Leading with presence.
Leading with presence.
Leading with presence.
Leading with presence.
Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Leading with presence emphasizes the importance of being fully engaged, authentic, and aware in every interaction. And as pointed out earlier, and what Deborah has alluded to, members in Leadership Speak are aware, they're engaged in interactions, and they're fully engaged in the club. And hence, that's why we get 158 education points last year. This year, the members have said, we will do more than 200 education awards. And when I asked them just last week, are you on track? Most of them said, yes, we are. So watch out at June of 2025, 30th of June, on the dashboard. Have a look and see how many education awards we have. Now, if you go on the dashboard for 2024 June, on the dashboard, it will say about 125. But if you go to the daily reports, which is where the total accumulated education awards are shown, you'll see it's 158 awards in total. We are leading with presence. After the toast, according to the agenda, ladies and gentlemen, we have our beautiful timer, Nzinga Jesse from Angola. Nzinga, how are you today?
Doing great, Bram. How about you?
I'm doing amazing. What's happening in Angola today? The weather I'm in.
The sun is shining, not too hot yet, but we are waiting for those days. I might go for a swim later. Just so you
A
know.
swim. Where I am, it's like 5-6 degrees. I don't think I'm going to go for a swim outdoors anywhere. Over to you for the timer, what you're going to be doing.
As a timer today, I will be timing according to the agenda and then post the report in the chat when called upon it. That's as simply as that. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Superb. Well done. Thank you. Now, after the timer, who else do we need? Of course, we need the grammarian, I believe. So, and I think she's going to be reading the dictionary. There you go. You see that dictionary that's going on there? Now, Gilda, you just joined the club very recently. You're from Calgary, Alberta. What's the weather up there?
Beautiful. We'll love it.
Not
Cold. And today is foggy. It gets foggy in the morning, but it gets beautiful and sunny.
Oh, great.
Calgary
And
has best weather.
amazing. And Deborah Walker, who just gave the toast, is not far from you, Saskatchewan. I don't know how far that is, but Canada is a huge country. When we say far, 1,000 miles is not far normally. Over to you, Gilda,
Let
for
that
telling us
count.
about the grammarian role.
Thank you, Toastmaster, and thank you, fellow Toastmasters and guests. As a grammarian, it's my responsibility is to pay close attention to all speakers, listening carefully to their language usage. I will take a note of any improper language, as well as any outstanding words, phrases, sentences, saying, and thoughts. As a grammarian, it's also my duty to introduce the word of the day. And the word of the day today is, and I will put it here behind my screen for everybody to see it. Charismatic. Charismatic, it could be adjective or noun. Adjective meaning is exercising a compelling charm which inspires devotion in others. A sentence, a charismatic leader. If it is a noun, person who claims divine inspiration. To use it in a sentence, an adherent of the charismatic movement. I will put it in the chat and I will give my report when I'm asked for it. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Gilda, thank you very much. And therefore, that brings us, of course, to the most important part of this meeting and why we are all here today. Because we have the world champion of public speaking with us. So now let's see, what do we have here? Our keynote will be by Ramona J. Smith. Ramona, how are you?
I am amazing, feeling very charismatic this morning.
Amazing. And for the benefit of our guests, where are you right now?
I am in Houston, Texas. That is Southwest United States.
And is it hot out there?
It's always hot in Houston. It's probably going to be
I
about
know.
28
I
degrees.
know why it's hot because, sorry, go ahead, Ramona.
I think it's going to be like 28 Celsius today. That's like 85-ish Fahrenheit. Every day is hot.
When I was in Houston to visit my brother who lives in Spring, Houston, it was so hot. It was in July, of course. It was so hot. When I got back to Canada, I was sick for a week, for
Oh,
1 week.
I'm sorry.
I'm not coming to Houston in July.
That's hot. It's hot in July and August. Those are the hottest months.
Let me just introduce you, Ramona. In an era where effective communication is paramount, understanding the impact of our presence can transform our interactions. Today, we will be exploring how cultivating conviction, authenticity not only enhances our professional relationships, but also empowers us to convey our message with clarity and confidence. Now, ladies and gentlemen and guests, lean in as we delve into the essential elements of that foster genuine connection in our communication. Let's welcome 2018 World Champion of Public Speaking, Ramona J. Smith, to the virtual lectern. The speech title is right above here. It's long, The Power of Presence, Cultivating Conviction and Authenticity in a Professional Communication. Over to you, Ramona. Thank you.
Up, 2, 3, 4, left, right, left. Up, 2, 3, 4, left, right, left. I was marching. I was in the cadence. I was reciting the Jody. I didn't know what to expect on my first day at basic training in the United States Air Force. As I continued each day, waking up to my military training instructors yelling and screaming and making us move with what's called a sense of urgency, I was ready to shine. I was ready to be the best. I was ready to follow one of the core values of the United States Air Force, which is excellence in all we do. Every day, I got up, did what I was supposed to do, listened, and I was an excellent follower. Little did I know, being an excellent follower would make me an outstanding leader. Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, fellow leaders, and honored guests. I am going to talk to you today about cultivating conviction and authenticity, the power of presence to make us all more effective leaders. I was old when I went to the military. I was 35. I was 35 years old. That means the majority of the other ladies and gentlemen who were in my flights were about 18. That means I was double the ages of all my team members, in my cohort. I did not go in the military with an attitude to lead. I went with an attitude to follow. I wanted to follow everything they said. Whatever was told to me, I was going to do it. I didn't want any issues, any problems. I went in with my head down and my heart strong. However, that made me stand out even more as a leader. How many of you always knew that you were born to lead? That wasn't me. That was not me. I never considered myself a leader. Even as a member in Toastmasters for 10, 11, 12 years, I never considered myself a leader. Even when I was teaching in the classroom, any former educators or current educators, even as a teacher in the classroom, I looked to my principal for leadership or my assistant principal for leadership. I never considered myself a leader. Going into the military, all that changed. How many of you remember the first time you knew that you were truly a leader? Not just because of the title, but because of how you felt within yourself. Did you remember that moment? I see a few hands. Yes. That was a pivotal moment for me, and it changed my life and it changed my perspective on what leadership actually means. One day in the chow line, chow meaning food for anyone who is unfamiliar, but in the chow line, one of my military training instructors looked to me and he said, "Smith, you're the dorm chief now." I was shocked. I didn't know what a dorm chief was. I didn't know what a dorm chief was supposed to do, but I knew I had to figure it out. I spent the next couple of hours studying what it meant, studying what I was going to have to do. And basically, I was going to have to lead a flight of 49 other women for the next 7 weeks to get to the end of a basic military training. I learned all about leadership in that role. That was the first time at the age of 35 that I knew that I was a leader. I figured out later on that the reason why they chose me for that leadership position, it wasn't because I was an old lady. It was because I exhibited great characteristics as a follower. As a follower, I was able to listen actively. I was able to show understanding and comprehension. I was able to align with the actions and the values. And naturally, most of us have outstanding communication skills. When called upon, I was able to communicate effectively. I was able to articulate my message. I was able to give orders and receive orders. And that's what made me stand out. Great followers are great leaders. We all know that. My presence, as Deborah mentioned earlier, was also another thing that made me stand out. When I showed up ready. We couldn't smile much. There weren't very many smiles, but I showed up confident. I showed up with my uniform in order, and I showed up ready for whatever command was going to be given, for whatever request was going to be given. I was ready and I was willing. That's the making of a leader. how you show up. That's presence. Let's talk a little bit about presence in reference to communication. In communication, presence refers to the ability of an individual to engage and connect with others effectively, is often characterized by attentiveness, authenticity, and the ability to convey confidence and clarity. It encompasses both verbal and nonverbal cues, including body language, eye contact, and vocal tone, which contribute to the overall impact of the message being communicated. Presence is essential for fostering meaningful interactions and ensuring that the communicator is perceived as credible and relatable. How do you show up? How do you look? I love what you talked about, Deborah. How do you show up as soon as you walk in the door? Are you, in most cases, let's take the militant side out of it. In most cases, in this meeting, when you were admitted into the Zoom call, were you looking angry and uninterested? Or were you smiling and engaging in the chat? We have an online presence. What does that feel like for other people? What does that look like for other people? Are you here? Are you ready? Are you awake if it's late or early in the morning? How are you showing up? What is that presence? What are people feeling when they look at you and when they hear you? Let's talk a little bit about conviction. Conviction. As speakers, conviction is very vital in our delivery when speaking. Conviction is that strong, firm belief. How are you making other people feel persuaded to follow the things that you are talking about and the ideas that you are delivering that day? Conviction is the firm belief or confidence in the message being conveyed. It involves expressing ideas with certainty and assurance, which can enhance the persuasiveness and credibility of the communication. Conviction can manifest through clear articulation of thoughts, assertive language, and strong understanding of the subject matter, ultimately fostering trust and engagement with the audience. That is conviction. We love world championship speeches because the speakers speak with conviction. We speak from our diaphragm. We speak from our hearts and we speak from our soul. And you feel it. You feel it when we speak. That's why you're inspired. That's why you're motivated, because you start to believe what we believe. Let me ask you this question. Outside of Toastmasters, and I want you to put your answers in the chat. How many hours do you think most executives spend preparing for their presentations? You can drop it in the chat so I can see some of your answers. How many hours do you think most executives spend preparing for their presentations? How many hours? Drop it in the chat. 2, 10. Oh, wowzers. 3 in total. Very little. Something, I don't know who said 5 minutes, but I may have to kick you out of this meeting. 2 to 10 hours, depending on the duration. Great answers, great answers. There is a company called Distinction Communication. And according to a study conducted by Distinction Communication, 86% of the executives surveyed said that communication clearly impacts their careers and income. Yet only 25% put more than 2 hours into preparing for very high stakes presentations. Only 25% of the 86% surveyed put more than 2 hours into preparing for very high stakes presentations. If it is a very high stakes presentation, we should be putting in at least 5 hours into the preparation. If you put in 2 hours or less, you are not going to get those dynamic aspects of the speech or the presentation incorporated because you just haven't invested enough time. You are not going to be able to connect on the highest level. You are not going to be able to have that conviction in your voice and in your message if you don't practice and prepare. And your presence, you'll be there. You ever heard of someone being there but not being there? They were there physically, but they were not there emotionally or spiritually, or they didn't have that strong connection. That's what happens when you don't spend time preparing for your speech or your presentation. The impact comes from the practice. The impact comes from what you put in is what you get out. Many speakers ask me, Ramona, how are you so authentic on stage? How do you do it? How do I feel so inspired? Because I put in time and I put in effort. It doesn't just come overnight. It doesn't just come because we're advanced Toastmasters. It doesn't just come because we speak often. The power is in the practice. Any athletes know the way you practice is the way you play. If you want to be more authentic, if you want to have more conviction, if you want to have a stronger, more powerful presence, it's going to be in the way you practice, because the way we practice is the way we play. Many people ask me, Ramona, how many times did you practice your world championship speech before you got on stage? I didn't count the hours, but if you multiply the hundreds of times that I practiced the speech and you multiply that by 7.5 minutes, all you math whizzes, you can have it. Multiply maybe 200 hours times 7.5 minutes. 200 times, multiply that by 7.5 minutes, and there's your answer. I would just say a lot, a whole lot. It was definitely more than 2 hours. And the results are clear. The results are clear. Even in the military, when practicing left face, right face, about face, practicing the JODIs, practicing for the exams, you have to put in the hours and you put in the work, and the results reflect the work. The results reflect the work. I graduated honor grad. And that means I did well in physical training. That means I did well on the test. That means I did well among my peers, because they had to vote on who was going to become honor grad. There were only a select few of us, but all that came from the work that I put in. All that came from the practice, the work, the studying, the rehearsals, and it became evident that I was a great leader. And it was because of what Brahms stated earlier about being self-directed. That's another reason why in my life I did not feel like a leader ever, because I was not a self-led leader. Even when I started my company in 2011, I was not a self-led business owner. I depended on the opinions, thoughts, and suggestions of others, which took me so much time to scale and grow my business. It took me so much time to figure out how to make and create and sustain a profitable business, because I never looked at myself as a self-led leader. It's easy to tell other people what to do. It's very difficult to take your own advice. It is very difficult to take the advice of the people that I was coaching, or to take the advice of the people, to take the advice I was giving to the people I was coaching, or to take the advice I was giving to other people who were asking me questions to make them better. I never thought I was a great leader until I had to learn how to direct myself and how to be disciplined within myself. Let's talk about authenticity for a little bit. One of the most common feedback or criticism that I get as a speaker is, you're so authentic, you're so real, you're so down to earth. That's just a part of who I am. That's a part of my character. I always show up as who I am. I don't wear a mask. I don't try to be anything that I'm not. Authenticity is realness. It can enhance leadership effectiveness, employee engagement, and organizational culture. It encourages us to work in an environment where individuals feel valued and empowered to contribute their unique perspectives. The relationship between authenticity and emotional intelligence is significant as well. Authenticity refers to being true to oneself, expressing one's genuine thoughts, feelings, and values, while emotional intelligence involves the ability to recognize, understand, and manage one's own emotions and the emotions of others. When I was in college, most of you know I did drop out of college 4 times, but I went back and finished. Don't worry. I went back and finished and graduated magna cum laude. Thank you. I had a professor by the name of Julie Miller, and she exhibited authenticity in the most perfect form. Julie was one of those professors who would remember your name, remember your birthday, remember your pet's name, remember your significant other's name. And even if I saw Julie right now, she would go, Ramona, how's Ryan doing? Ryan is my son. How's Ryan doing? That's authentic. That is authenticity. She is herself. She creates those genuine connections by remembering those small things, and it makes me feel valued. It makes me feel worthy. It makes me feel like I mean something to her. When was the last time you recognized one of your team members' birthdays? When was the last time you recognized one of your team members' pet's name? How's little Brutus doing? It's the little things that help us build authenticity. Those little things like remembering anniversaries, remembering someone's grandfather's 90th birthday. That can foster a sense of connection and authenticity. As I mentioned before, active listening, being transparent, aligning with action and values, all those are ways for us to enhance presence, conviction, and authenticity. 2 people who exhibit those, especially in their speaking to me, are Oprah Winfrey. We all remember Oprah, the talk show, and she has all the movies and books and things like that. She's known for her empathetic and engaging communication style. She can connect deeply with her audience, and her presence is felt through her active listening, authenticity, and the way she makes others feel valued and understood. Another one of my favorites who has that conviction, that presence, that authenticity is Barack Obama. As a former president of the United States, he was recognized as a very powerful speaker and a calm demeanor. His presence in communication was marked clearly by clarity, confidence, and the ability to inspire and motivate others. He also used storytelling to connect with his audience and make complex issues more relatable and understanding. As leaders, we must be present within ourselves. That's that self-directedness, that's that leading ourselves to speak with conviction to our teams and be authentic in all that we do. What are your core values? We know the core values of Toastmasters. My core values in my company are I care. That's the acronym, I care. Integrity, confidence, authenticity, resilience, and excellence. All of those core values I live by, and those core values are what keep me present. They keep me real, genuine, and down to earth, and they allow me to speak with conviction because I care. If you want to continue to be an outstanding leader and an outstanding speaker, you must put the work in all these areas. Listening to podcasts, reading more books. I learn by teaching more webinars on everything that you've learned. I know a lot of us are heavy in professional development. Don't just let it sit there. Teach it, share it. Remember that study that I spoke about earlier, that only 86% of the executives surveyed actually put in more than 86% of the executive surveys knew that communication was vital for their success, yet they failed to prepare effectively. Let's not let that be us. Let's not let that be us. Let's not wait until the last minute to prepare those powerful presentations. Let us make the preparation a part of our lifestyles. Let us make authenticity be a part of our lifestyle. Let us make being more present a part of our lifestyle. Actually, I want to challenge you. The next time you are the lead of a team or the head of a team, I challenge you to remember one person's birthday and one person's pet name. I challenge you to do that and to bring it up and to ask them that question and make them feel special and make them feel valued. So in summary, I want you all to know that you have to cultivate your own conviction and authenticity by developing a more powerful presence. If you want to learn more about how to do these things, I know we only had a small amount of time together today. I couldn't get everything I wanted to say. Otherwise, we would have been here all day. But if you want to work with me, I put my email and my LinkedIn in the chat. You can connect with me. I have some beautiful programs that are going to help you become more present, more authentic, and to have more conviction in your presentations. Continue to be leaders in and outside of Toastmasters, and don't wait until you're 35 to join the military. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Ramona, thank you so much. I really got so much about it from your presentation, and I was writing notes here. When you began, you asked everyone, how do you show up? When you enter a room, your online presence. How do you show up when you are online? Not only, of course, in a physical place, but online, because this club is an online club. So you address that. Very well said. I especially loved when you said speakers speak with conviction. They speak with persuasion because they convey confidence, that certainty about them, that assurance. And that's because more than 2 hours of preparation. Most of them do very little. I know I work in large organizations. I know. So very little means less than 2 hours of preparation. So, and yeah, Toastmasters need to put in at least 5 hours or more in their presentations to be effective. And as a world champion of public speaking, like you said, hundreds of hours perhaps. Wonderful. Thank you, Ramona. And for our guests, please put in the chat what you got out of Ramona's presentation. She has a link as well in the chat if you want to communicate and contact her. She does offer private coaching sessions as well. So if you are looking for to be the next world champion of public speaking, or to be in a contest and want to be effective, contact Ramona Smith, and her information is in the chat. Thank you, Ramona. Really, really appreciate it. We are blessed. Now we will go on to the speakers, and we have today five speakers. And you will notice on the agenda that there is no table topics. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, if you can post the agenda again in the chat for our guests so they can have a look. We did post it earlier on a couple of times. There were people who did arrive a little later. Now, Rosie, how are you?
I'm good, thanks, Bram. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. And I can see that our Sergeant at Arms or Zoom Master is very enthusiastic, and she's already spotlighted everyone, but that's okay. We'll speak to each one of you. Let me ask you, Rosie, in Nairobi, what's the weather?
Coincidentally, I would say it's exactly how Ramona described Houston. 28 degrees, it's hot. We're meant to be having short rains, but they say climate change has changed everything.
Awesome. And today you're going to be evaluated by Marie, which is from Switzerland, Lausanne, I believe. Sometimes I tend to forget, with all these countries and people from all over the world, 58 of them. But Ramona, I remember most of them. See that I remember Lausanne. Now, Marie, before you tell us about Rosie, I just want to ask our guests here. There's a guest book in the chat. So Dan, if you can, or Irene, if you can post that link for our guests. You heard our keynote speaker. You probably loved it. You want to be part of now Leadership Speak already, right? Come on, put your name in there. Or just tell us how you found Ramona's presentation, and we will pass that on to her as well. Now, Marie, what's Rosie going to be doing today? You're muted, Marie. We do lip read a bit here, so.
Our charismatic Rosie Rana will deliver a speech to review the project, its outcomes, benefits, and the lessons learned. This is the final speech of a remarkable Toastmasters project, meaning it is the result after 28 base speeches in Pathway, which includes 2 pathways, Path and Advanced projects. Congratulations to Rosie Rana for your determination, and I invite you all to give her a round of applause.
Marie, thank you. Now, I'm guessing from the title of your speech, a drip of innovation. A drip is always, the coffee is dripping. Is it Dorman's coffee? I don't know. We'll hear what we have to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce to you distinguished Toastmaster Rosie Rana. She has a president's citation. She is a DTM. She is a Smedley's Distinguished Past District Director of District 114, and she has a doctorate in business administration. She is the managing director of Dorman's Coffee. I get out of breath. What else is there? Did I forget anything? Rosie, you're just so amazing. Thank you for being a member here and all the way from Nairobi. Rosie Rana, a drip of innovation, Rosie Rana.
Thank you, Brahm. Thank you. So imagine that you had to make a delicious cup of coffee. Giving you a moment, how would you prepare it? Let's see some answers in the chat. You want a premium cup of coffee. What would you use in your house? No answers. Okay. Instant. Okay. Nestle Gold. A steamer coffee maker, sugar and cream, spring water. Yeah. So what, maybe equipment? Because you really want it to be delicious. Cup and, yeah, pour over. I like it back. Keurig. Yeah, excellent. Brahm, thank you. Boil water, ground coffee, Italian coffee. Put on the, okay, super. I like it. I love it. So let me share that as I work with Dorman's Coffee, to a large degree, if you want a premium cup of coffee, most people will use some equipment. I mean, Keurig is one of them. You could use a French press. You could use a capsule machine. Some people use just boil water in a pot, similar to what you do with tea. But that does not give you a premium experience. Instant coffee, well, maybe Dorman's Instant you can call premium, but frankly speaking, by the connoisseur's perspective, much as I agree you can get a good experience with instant coffee, that is not considered to be a premium coffee experience. So I want to go back to some months ago, back in June last year. I received a call from a friend of mine who had moved to Japan. His name is Daniel Joroge. Daniel had been working in Japan for a company called Fuso. Now, Fuso produced a lot of coffee machinery. And Daniel was in a dilemma. Daniel had shipped this drip coffee bag machine all the way to Ethiopia. The machine was on the waters, but he was in a problem or in a fix because the buyer in Ethiopia had defaulted and had not paid for the machine. Daniel was wondering now what to do. He had done it on trust and his bosses would be really angry. So he was trying to see if anyone else could buy the machine in the meantime. If the machine had to be returned to Japan, it would have to dock, land somewhere in East Africa, and get returned. So Daniel, knowing that I work with Dorman's Coffee, spoke to me. Now, if you remember Ramona's presentation, Daniel is one of those charismatic individuals, very convincing, very compelling, very persuasive. He started telling me about this machine, and what he said got me interested. What I did not know was the seed was being planted for my DTM project. Daniel told me that this machine would make bags like filter bags, what he called drip bags. such that a consumer would just have to place the bag onto a cup. The coffee is already inside because it's packed that way. Pour hot water and the coffee would be ready to drink. So not only was it convenient, but he was assuring me that it would offer a premium coffee experience. Now, being in coffee, I've been a skeptic for a long time when it comes to the automatic methods. It sounded like a tea bag. So I asked him to send me some samples, which he rushed by DHL, tried them, and wow, I was blown away because the coffee was truly premium. Now, I tried to put our coffee in it, and it was absolutely beautiful. Here I was in a country where very few people can afford French presses, can afford a pour over machine. And this sounded just magical. I started getting excited. And I was sold. So fast forward almost 1.5 years later, Doman's had produced these drip coffee bags and launched them to market. But what went behind the scenes was several things before we launched these drip bags. First and foremost, that machine was not cheap. This drip coffee bag machines, and especially coming from Japan, cost $150,000. Now, obviously, Daniel was desperate. We were in discussions for a long time, and he did offer a 20% discount because he really did not want to ship it back. That 20% is what it would have cost him to take it back. But despite that, when you work for a corporate, there are processes, there are procedures. So the first thing I had to do was to table to my board what is called non-budgeted expenditure. Now, non-budgeted expenditure is extremely difficult for my board to approve because it shows you did not have prior planning. I nonetheless managed to convince them and had to do a lot of financials, but Daniel convinced me and I convinced my board. Next came the machine arrival because it was already on the waters. So 2 weeks later, the machine arrived. But it's one thing, so it's landing it, because we didn't even have the documents because they had been consigned to another individual in Ethiopia. Finding space in the warehouse because it wasn't planned for, and finally commissioning and installing it. 2 people, and this was again a promise from Daniel, came all the way from Japan to commission and train my teams. I trusted the process. The teams were trained. And then this was the most exciting. We have a wide range of blends. Which blends would we offer to market? Lots of experiments. What roast profile, what ground profile would produce the best extraction? Thereafter, after our people were trained on the best practices, we wanted to train and to sensitize the market on these drip bags. How would they know how it's used? So a lot of time was spent with third-party service providers to come up with the right packaging, which would be appealing, but yet sell the story. And finally, the launch to market. So we decided to go with 6 blends of coffee, which would really give the symphony of flavors that Kenya produces. We launched to market, got it listed in a few places, and I want to share with us here in this room a video that we have used widely to promote the drip bags. I think this will give a better understanding of how these drip bags work. So just give me a minute. So that's the coffee experience that you get.
How to brew the Dorman's drip coffee bag. Grab your bag and tear along the notch. Shake and tear along perforation to open filter. Pull the hanger away from the filter and hang on a cup. It will look like this. Pour hot water over the bag to saturate the grounds. Then pour hot water over the bag to fill up your mug. Hold the hangers to remove the bag.
So, ladies and gentlemen, those were the blends we launched in the appealing packs. Many lessons were learned. The first lesson being opportunity knocks on your door. It's yours to grab or drop. When Daniel called me, I could have thought it's impossible. How do I just come up with that money? Secondly, what Stephen Bartlett calls sweating the small stuff. We really wanted to do this properly. So finding the right blends, the right profile, the right grind. And finally, teamwork makes your dream work. I had to involve so many team members from my production, my sales team, my quality team. But all in all, today we are able to offer a convenient way to have premium coffee. When you next, wherever you are, sip on your coffee, I hope you may remember the Dorman's drip bags, and one day, hopefully we can get them to market in your parts of the world. Thank you very, very much. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Rosie,
Yes.
if you can just spotlight Rosie, don't take the speakers off immediately. So if we can spotlight Rosie here again, Zoom Master, Sergeant Arms, and several of them are trying to do that. That's the reason. We'll wait. We're patient.
Yes.
Rosie, now I didn't know that you actually did coffee, like in tea bags, you have coffee bags.
So this started in Japan. Europe, America, you can get drip bags, but it's a first for Kenya. But they're rare because they're quite expensive. They tend to be premium.
Back in 1980s, when I was in England, an accounting firm, I'm a chartered accountant. So the bosses used to drink these bags, coffee bags they had, and they were pretty expensive. And from that, I used to buy coffee bags too. Now that I see you are doing coffee bags, Rosie, I need that coffee bag.
Sure.
So we'll have to arrange how to get it from Nairobi to Toronto.
We shall do that, Brahm. And now the technology has come so far. Research has come such a long way because the taste of the coffee that gets extracted from these filter bags, okay, yes, we have to import the material from Japan too. It's really, really good. You could not previously get coffee. I have always been a believer in sort of semi-traditional methods, but this method truly works. Very excited about it. Yeah.
Wow. And how is it doing in Kenya or globally anywhere in the market, these coffee bags? How are they doing now?
So globally, I believe they do well. In Kenya, it's still new at the moment. We've finally got them listed into some supermarkets. The process is still going on, and all our efforts are focused at sensitizing the consumer how to use them.
Awesome, Rosie. Well, thank you very much. Let's bring on our next speaker. Thank you, Rosie.
Thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is not able to join us. I think our next speaker is supposed to be Nicole Miller Douglas. She's not able to join us because she's on her way in a car and has got stuck in a traffic jam somewhere. She lives in Jamaica. So, and she's just sent us a message that she will not be able to make it in time for this meeting. So we will go on to the next speaker. Now, our next speaker comes from South Africa. Nokawe, what's the weather like in where you are?
Hi, TTM from.
Yeah, the weather is good over there.
Oh,
Is it
it's
getting
very
warm?
hot. Very
Oh.
hot. Yeah, it's about 35 degrees Celsius, so it's very hot.
Would you like to come in at where it's 5 degrees centigrade right now?
Definitely.
Well, let's see what you're going to do today. Paramjit Singh is all the way from Dubai, United Arab Emirates. Paramjit.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the Day. Irene is presenting a speech from the project Building a Social Media Presence. And the purpose of this project is for the member to apply his or her understanding of social media to enhance and establish our new social media presence. The purpose of this speech is also for the member to share some aspect of his or her experience establishing or enhancing a social media presence. Thank you very much, Toastmaster.
Thank you. Nokawe. I think your speech title says a lot about your speech already, and our theme is lead with presence. So I'm very curious as to what you're going to be telling us. Ladies and gentlemen, guests especially, let's listen to Nokawe Nkosi. I was there, but not present. I was there, but not present. Nokawe Nkosi.
Fellow Toastmasters and guests, by the show of a virtual hand, may I see as to how many of you are active in social media without being terrified? Thank you. Did you know that being famous on Instagram is basically the same as being rich on Monopoly? Those are not my words, of course, but of an unknown author. Once upon a time, I am. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, for so many years, I have been very terrified to use social media. But to my surprise, I was there. I was on Facebook. I was on Instagram. I was on Twitter. I was on LinkedIn. But I was not present. I never posted anything. I never commented on anything. Do you know why? Firstly, I was scared of being misjudged. Secondly, I was terrified of making mistakes because I always thought, should I make a mistake on social media? My reputation as a charismatic leader is gone. With those fears, I decided to be there, but not being present. Until one day, I attended DTM Bram Maimon's coaching session. Wow, what a session. Let me share with you two key things that I took from it. The first one was that it doesn't matter what you know, doesn't matter what you have, but what matters is who you know. Who are you connected to? Secondly, it was that in this time, when you are not present in the digital footprint, it's like you don't exist, regardless of the accolades that you've collected in your life. You know, after that session, I determined in my heart that, you know what, as much as I'm terrified to use social media, but I will work on myself so that I can be able to be present out there. I decided that I would choose only one social media platform to use, and I chose LinkedIn. That was just a few months ago. Actually, it's just a month and some weeks, because it was mid-September 2024. I decided that every week I'll post something in LinkedIn that represents the brand that I am. It was not an easy thing to do, but I decided to take a leap towards what I committed to do. On my journey in LinkedIn, I have learned two things. The first one is that it is very important to be authentic. And as a charismatic leader who always aspire to be authentic, I decided that I'm not going to be changed, but what will happen along the journey. For example, you support other people, you comment on their posts, and they don't do it on your post. I decided that I will never stop cheering other leaders. Secondly, I learned to exercise my empathetic leadership style. That as much as I am learning from others, I need to learn with an open mind, not being too critical to what people chose or post or do on the social media, but always I need to wear my empathetic leadership cap when I read other people's posts. And I will carry this thing throughout the journey. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, let me share a quote that I have learned or that I've read, written by Cian Gardner. He said, social media is not an activity. It is an investment of valuable time and resources. He emphasized that surround yourself with people who do not just support you and stay with you, but the people who inform your thinking about ways to wow your online presence. Back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Nokawe. So your speech was about being present on social media, which is another, of course, leaders lead with presence, definitely. And so your digital footprint is very, very important. I would suggest what you do is, Elena Constantino is really working hard in learning social media, and she's become very good. Connect with Elena, speak to her offline. She's a member. She's going to be speaking today as well. And see how she can guide you, because use our members' abilities to pivot your own journey. Nokawe, thank you so much for your presentation and your journey on social media. Thank you. Our next speaker, ladies and gentlemen, is going to be our speaker number 4, Mamadou Guebre. Hello, Mamadou. Now, Mamadou, you are in Nigeria, right?
Yes, sir. I'm in beautiful, sunny Lagos in Nigeria. Well, it's partly cloudy today.
However, you've lived in several different countries in West Africa. What are the countries you've lived in?
I've lived in my hometown, of course, beautiful Côte d'Ivoire, and Senegal and Benin, and partly in France at some point in time, and yeah, now in Nigeria.
And because you were in Côte d'Ivoire, you speak with a French accent, of course. So that's where you were
exactly.
born, right?
Je parle très bien français.
Awesome, amazing. Now your evaluator. Let's bring in your evaluator. We'll wait for the Zoom master to bring. There you go, Mrinal. How are you, Mrinal? All the way from
absolutely.
Kolkata. How's it in Kolkata, Mrinal?
It's pleasant weather.
Pleasant weather, good.
And we are in the celebration mood as of now.
Okay, Mrinal, what is Mamadou going to be doing today?
Yeah. So today, Mamadou delivering speeches from motivational strategies, evaluation and feedback 2, present either a new speech or the same speech that incorporates some or all of the feedback received from the presenter of the first speech. All the best to Mamadou.
Quick question for you, Mrinal, before you go. Diwali was a couple of days ago, and yesterday, did you have a lot of biryani?
Yes.
Right. All right. Awesome. Well, biryani is for all of you here. Biryani is my favorite food, and we're going to make a coffee flavored biryani soon.
Wow.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. While Mamadou sorts out his background and people moving around in his background, he switched off his video for a second. We'll bring him on back again as soon as he's ready. Mamadou, put on your video when you are ready so we can introduce you.
Yes, I am.
So people are not walking behind you anymore?
Yes, it is sort of napped, contrary to kidnapped.
And if they do, we don't mind, because our homes are not always ready for us to speak, right? People could be walking behind. Sometimes cats and dogs, kids are running behind, and this is fine, really.
Exactly.
All right.
Part of the fun.
Mamadou Guebre, why? Why Mamadou Guebre? Over to you.
Good. Thank you. Have you ever invested in the stock market?
Mm-hmm.
And how did it go? On a scale of 1 to 10, how will you say your risk tolerance is? 1 to 10, your risk tolerance in the stock market. You can type in the chat. You can also just pick up. 2, 7. Wow, we have from one end to the other. Brilliant. 6. 7. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Sometimes 2, and sometimes even almost 7 or 10 as well, because I have invested in the stock market. I'm still invested in the stock market. And how did it go? The stock market is really fantastic. So, can you take a guess how it went for me? I have enjoyed tremendous levels of depreciation. Depreciation, for those who have already invested in the stock market, it's a nice word to say that you lost money. And I have also enjoyed marvelous amounts of appreciation, which means that your money grows in the stock market. And I've had different experiences. One of them was in 2015 in Senegal. Well, I've lived there. I just mentioned it. That was my first time. I opened an account with the stockbroker to invest in the West Africa stock market. I bought some shares and they asked me my risk tolerance, my risk appetite. Yeah, most of the time, I prefer to say moderate, meaning I'm not in the lower side, neither in the higher side, moderate. They said, okay, well, they just offered me a couple of shares and I did buy them. And the lady in charge of my account told me that I should buy those particular shares because they are on the rise. I said, brilliant, let's go for it. I bought shares 1, 2, 3 months. They kept going up. Woohoo! And then by the 6th month, they started now stagnating. And then 7 months starting, the prices started dropping. I said, okay, well, let's see. And as you know, emotion is a bad advisor, particularly in the stock market. I will be like, Surya, sell, and she will tell me, yes, but if, depending on your risk tolerance, you can just decide to sell them, but you can just keep up if you want to keep them for the long run. I said, okay, let's keep at it. And they kept dropping. And at some point, we were at half the value of the shares. I was like, maybe I should sell those things. And some people will tell me, no, you just buy a couple of shares because they've become cheaper now. Just buy more. While I was just digging and digging and digging, and I kept losing. And what part of me was saying, just sell them. And another part was saying, no, don't bother selling them. You've already lost. If you sell them, you're losing. Keep them, they will appreciate again. And at some point, I was wondering, why? Why should you keep digging with no guarantee of future gains? Why? I mean, why? And I was tempted to sell, but yeah, something is holding me. You've already invested in this, you already lost. Why will you sell it and lose? Have you ever had this impression? You invested in something, and at some point you saw that you are losing, and wisdom is telling you you should give up. But something else is telling you, no, don't give up. You already invested. That trap is called the sunk cost fallacy. The sunk cost fallacy is the fact that you have invested financially, emotionally, and in effort, and you reach a point almost of no return. You don't want to hold back. You don't want to stop. You want to continue. And that happens to all of us in our career, in our love stories, in our relationships, in our businesses, at a smaller scale and even at a higher scale. It happens to the supersonic Concorde, where government and manufacturers have invested, and wisdom were telling them that this airplane is doomed to failure and they should give up. But they had invested a lot, and their reputation was also at stake. So they didn't want to stop. Well, if you find yourself in such a situation, just hold your breath, take some time, reflect, assess the situation, and just call for a heart. Use wisdom and stop there. It's not giving up. It's the call of wisdom. Just stop. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Mamadou. Why? So do you recommend people invest in the stock market or not in the long run?
I am not a financial investor. I can whisper in the ears, but publicly, I will just call the heart and call the voice of wisdom, as I just said.
Wise words. Wise words. Of course, you are not an advisor. We know that. You are a leadership coach and a trainer. So
an advocacy expert.
Yes. You're a student with John Maxwell. You're a John Maxwell coach, actually, right? Amazing.
Yes.
You recently traveled to Florida with John Maxwell. Tell us about.
Yes.
Tell us in 30 seconds what you did there.
Yeah, we learned a lot. It's actually it happens twice a year, in March and also in August in Florida and Orlando particularly. We go there, we interact, we share, and we learn new resources, and we also take tools to actually help the world be time rich and night time poor, to invest in their emotions, to invest in every area of their life, and to show up strong and to be self-directed. That's what we advocate for here in Leadership Speak.
Awesome, Mamadou. So, time is running short. So in the chat, you can tell us how, according to your philosophy at John Maxwell's, how are we doing at Leadership Speak? Thank you, Mamadou. And we'll bring on the next speaker, ladies and gentlemen. And our next speaker is the last speaker, I believe, which is speaker number 5, Elena, all the way from Cyprus. And what is the weather in Cyprus today?
About
Nice.
30 degrees.
Uh-huh.
Nice.
Awesome. Well,
Sunny, no rain
I'm not
yet.
going to not going to invite you to Canada. Of course, 5 degrees here. Now bring on the evaluator. There you go. Yuseli, our club
Hey, Yuseli.
secretary, who used to live in Haiti but has now immigrated to Canada. She's my country cousin, by the way.
Yes.
We live about an hour and a half apart, I believe. So not too far. Now, Yuseli, what is Elena going to be doing today?
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. Toastmaster Elena will present a speech on the project, Manage Projects Successfully, and it will be her first speech. The purpose of this project is for her to practice developing a plan, building a team, and fulfill the plan with the help of her team. And the purpose of this first speech is for her to give a short overview of the plan for her project. And she will present from 2 to 3 minutes. Back to you, Mr.
Wonderful.
Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you. So today, ladies and gentlemen, Elena is going to be talking something about her corporate training and coaching business, and I'm really looking forward to it. Elena Constantino, launching a corporate training and coaching business, launching a corporate and training business, launching a corporate and training and coaching business. Elena Constantino, over to you.
Anything worth doing is worth doing it right. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and dear guests, I launched 3 companies in 2023 and saw 2 of them underperforming at first. But in the words of our world champion guest today, I am still standing. I'm in the ring of the 3rd company, throwing those jabs and hooks and still standing. Standing here before you, celebrating a project which is going to be revealed on November 7th, when my partners and I will officially launch our corporate training and coaching business. In this Toastmaster challenge today, that of managing projects successfully, there is a checklist of self-reflective questions. Today, I will focus on the 3 most important ones at this point. The questions perfectly align with my deepest realizations of what our project team needs and wants: an environment of trust, respect, love, and care. Question 1. List some strategies for delegating tasks to your team. If you had to pick just one strategy, what would that be? Just one. For me, it would be trust. Simply trust, the mutual kind, the professional type, the kind where you give it and receive it with awareness and accountability. Question 2. What steps can you take to build an appropriate relationship with your team? Again, because time is one of the scarce resource, I choose only one step: respect. Again, the mutual type, the professional type, the type that makes multiplier effect. Trust, respect, love, and care. How do I link the last part of my puzzle to the 3rd question? What do you think are your strongest skill areas as a project manager? This is where I align my focus on getting things done creatively, innovatively, and with passion. Jumping into the ring with as much energy and drive as an athlete, motivating myself and my team members to keep standing. This is where I lead by example, showing love for the project, showing care for the team, taking care of myself and my team members in the process. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Elena. I'm really looking forward to your announcement on November the 7th, I believe you said. But
Yes.
also you are doing a presentation on negotiation, right, in December. Tell us,
Yes, I am.
in 30 seconds, tell me a bit more. Tell us what you're doing.
Yes, I've been asked to train a research team comprising of scientists in Malaysia and Indonesia who are working on the blue economy. And part of their training will involve a lot of technical stuff, but also some skills on negotiation and conflict management, which I've been asked to facilitate in a webinar.
Amazing, Elena. Thank you so much. And you did a presentation on that a while back at the club, and it was lovely. So all the best.
Yes,
And
I want to
look
thank
forward
Leadership
to-
Speak for this.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Thank you for being a
everyone.
member.
Thank you.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, just a reminder to our members, dear members, you know today we are going to be voting for the VP of Public Relations, Vice President of Public Relations after the meeting. So please stay on, do not leave. This is for our members. Of course, we will speak to the guests and then we will bid them goodbye. And then we will do the by-election. So dear members, today is that day. And please do not leave towards the end of the meeting. We need a quorum. That's the reason why. With that, I think we've done enough of the speaking part here today. And so let's have a look. Let's address our guests again. Dear guests, now you've seen how our meetings run. You've seen our speakers. You've seen the world champion of public speaking. We invite a lot of speakers from outside as well on a regular basis. We do lots of training on critical thinking as well. So if you are interested in Leadership Speak, or you want to just leave us a note about what you think of the meeting so far, there is a link in the chat. Please complete that and give us some feedback. Tell us what you think of the meeting. Tell us what you think of the individual speakers in that guest book. Thank you so much. Now, ladies and gentlemen, before I go on, however, we have a couple of other things to do. And what are those couple of things? Well, it's time for the timers report, which will be posted in the chat. Again, being an advanced club, we don't have a timer coming in and doing a full-fledged report. We just put it in the chat. And as you can see, there we go. That's the report. Thank you very much, Nzinga, for the timing report. As well, Zoom Master, please launch the poll for today for the speakers. I'll wait until I see the poll come up. Zoom Master, can you speak to me? Thank you. So Zoom Master, we need to do things with alacrity a little bit here. So thank you very much. Please keep voting for the speaker that you think did well today. Of course, we will not be voting for our world champion of public speaking. We don't do that. She's already a champion. Sorry, Ramon. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I now will let me let's make sure my agenda is working well here. I would like to invite our GE, of course. So our GE is the distinguished Toastmaster Vinod Panikkar. Now, ladies and gentlemen, don't panic because Vinod Panikkar is here. He's been watching us from the sky, from this satellite here, right? He's watching us from the satellite. Now he's coming on the ground and being with us on the ground. Vinod, how's the weather in Dubai where you are? Are you in Dubai or which city are you in UAE?
Hi, Bram. Yes, I am in Dubai. It's 25 degrees. The weather is getting pleasant over here.
Okay. Normally it's what, over 40 degrees in summer?
Yeah, we usually say that there are three climate over here. There is hot, hotter, and hottest. So now the hot is coming on.
Well, Vinod, if you ever want to experience some nice cool weather, come in beginning of February in Canada, like -20, winds of about -35 kilometers an hour. You know, it's pretty cool. You're welcome to do that.
Thanks.
Okay.
Thank you, Bram.
Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished Toastmaster Vinod Panikar as the GE. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster of the day. Ladies and gentlemen, when you hear the word feedback, what comes to your mind? Please put it in the chat in less than 5 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yes. Right. So I'm not going to read the chat. The only purpose why I did was I wanted to make sure you are present in the meeting. And when you type, you will not go to sleep. I know that. So let's go ahead and quickly, my team of evaluators are ready. They have observed, they will analyze, and they will present their speech. To present the first observation and analysis, I would request the evaluator for the toast for today, Nithati. Toastmaster Nithati, can I have you on the screen, please? Yes, the screen is all yours.
Presence is found in all leaders at all levels in an organization. Thank you very much, Deborah, for your impactful toast. This toast aligned perfectly with the theme, Lead with Presence. You were effective in defining leading with presence using CCM, i.e., connecting authentically, connecting with people through thoughts and feelings to build confidence and motivating people to take actions. That's what the leaders are supposed to do. Thank you very much for that guidance. You continuously engaged audience through thought-provoking questions. When you enter the room, what presence do you bring? You cited Vinod. Everyone brings something to the room. And simultaneously varying your voice and pace to align with Vinod's. This was also funny. You contributed impactfully with a bang, leading with presence. Your framing was very effective. Zoom presence, excellent. I would suggest that you consider the following: pauses between questions to give the audience an opportunity to analyze your question and to be present in that question. In summary, thank you for the effectively aligned toast, which was very much in sync with the theme. You engaging the audience in impactful toast. Please consider pauses between questions. I'm looking forward to listening and learning from you in the future. And congratulations back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nithati. That was a positive evaluation. And you reinforced what was good in the speaker. I was looking specifically for point of development, and you mentioned pause. I would have liked when we say pause between questions, if you could remember the question and say this was the question and this was the question, and you could have paused, that would have been more specific. But the suggestion that you gave was valuable. Pause is a technique. The message is always delivered in the silence. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, now to evaluate our Toastmaster of the day, let me welcome Toastmaster Daniel. Toastmaster Daniel, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. I am truly honored to have this opportunity to evaluate Bram, the founder of Leadership Speaks, with the open house. This is a masterclass of how a meeting is run. First of all, you realize that we had the champion of public speaking available at the meeting. This does not happen overnight. you have to have planned it well in advance. So the planning is top notch. The thought about it came in well. So you brought Ramona in, fantastic. And open day is also meant to attract the guests who come in and other people who are potential members. This was done very well because I definitely like to be a club where this champion of public speaking is. And then the briefing on how it started, we're the top of the world, we can see how, if that planning is well in advance, as Ramona said, don't just take 2 hours plan, it has to take a lot of hours, and this, a lot has been put in. The Zoom presence, he put in using technology, the warmth, connecting with all the people there, done brilliantly, fantastic. All this came to play. But as we do meetings and anything we have that is running live, there tend to be some things that sometimes go wrong. So I would like to maybe have you consider, when doing the planning for a meeting like this, you may be well planned, but check on those things that can, contingency plans. What if something doesn't happen as I planned it? Is everybody in sync? Because there are some things that you had in your mind, but maybe other team were not there with you. So like how we had the highlighting the speakers, I spoke to them, then having speak to one for some time. There's a little bit of a change on what we normally do. Some practice, more practice with that may make it run in well. So let's have somebody, have the team work so we're sort of in sync. We had a practice, we do have practice before, but maybe take a little bit more time and then look at specific areas. If this happened, if the time stopped, if that happened, how do you want the speak? How do you want the Zoom master to act in this meeting? Those things then make the meeting run smoothly. But all in all, this is a masterclass. We come in here and we learn lessons are learned. People in this meeting learn how they can go and replicate what you've done elsewhere. Extremely well done. I'd like to sit in a class, and I do on Tuesdays with you to have a coaching. Anybody else would do that. Well done, Bram. This is what a Toastmasters meeting should look like, run by a Toastmaster. Back to you, Vinod Kanika.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Dan, and I completely agree. Toastmaster Bram is charismatic and he owns the screen. His presence is awesome. And the suggestion that I was looking for is pretty valid, because usually when Bram is there, I feel that he actually got really, our world champion inspired him a lot. He really wanted to know what was there in the speaker's life, and he started asking questions to dig a little bit more in life. So we can give on an open house meeting a little bit doubt, or else usually Bram is well prepared and he goes zoom in that way. But today he wanted to play and have some table topic with our speakers, but that is all kudos go to our world champion Ramona. Thank you very much. Thank you. So our first evaluator technically for the speeches is all the way from Lausanne. Toastmaster Mary, the screen is yours.
Rosie Rana's presentation, A Drop of Innovation, effectively combines inspiration and instructions, highlighting the journey of developing a unique coffee product for consumers. This evaluation will examine the content, structure, and delivery of the speech. Content on structure. The opening of the speech is effective as the opening line. Give me the recipe for a good coffee. Invites the audience to immediately connect with the topic. This question sets an interactive tone, encouraging audience participation from the outset. The speakers skillfully transition into narrative to obstacle faced in developing innovative coffee product, adding a depth and relevance. The structure is clear with a logical progression from the initial questions through the challenges of convincing the team to invest in expensive equipment to the triumph outcome, a beautifully packaged product that embodies innovation in tea filters. This progression helps the audience follow the journey, reinforcing the speaker's key messages about resilience and creativity. However, a simple and clear summary that leaves the audience aware of the benefits of this product is crucial. The proof is in Bram's first reaction, where I can buy this coffee. Delivery on body language. Rosie's delivery was confident and precise, engaging the audience. The video was straightforward, clear, and concise. However, varying vocal tone and pace would further enhance engagement, demonstrating the speaker's passion for the coffee. At times, a more deliberate pace would allow the audience to absorb critical information. Recommendation for improvement. To strengthen the speech, consider the following recommendation. Conclusion. Summarizing the key lesson explicitly and reiterating the main takeaway for clarity was perfect. Vocal variety. Practice modulation, tone, and pace more to maintain audience interest. Photo the presentation. You are not just a teacher, Rosie. Opening strategy, a personal anecdote related to cafe that reflects the theme of innovation, allowing the audience to connect on a deeper level. Conclusion. Overall, a drop of innovation is a compelling presentation that effectively inspires and informs the audience. By refining the conclusion, enhancing vocal delivery, and adopting a more personal opening strategy, Rosie, you can elevate the presentation to an even higher level. The audience left with an appreciation for innovation in cafe and a desire to have this product in their own country. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Mary. You actually used the technique. You said how you are going to evaluate content, structure, delivery, just like our speech contest. And you went through, and the point of development, I believe, were valid, where you said about the vocal variety. Even I felt the energy that when you found that mix and that luxury coffee, like people should go crazy. Oh my God, what is happening? So I could feel that in your voice. You gave that example and you made that all through your voice. So thank you very much for that valuable. And the point, where can you buy? So everything was there in the story, character, conflict resolution. But at the end, when you said this, end it, that this is what, like what you say, where you can get all these things. But Rosie, we will all get connected with you. Thank you very much. And thank you, Mary, for that valuable evaluation. And our next evaluator is going to be DTM Paramjit Singh. Paramjit Singh, the screen is all yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator Vinod. I was there, but not present. It reminded me of the times when I was also sailing in the same boat. And I attended a seminar and I started using the social media, but still I am sometime present, sometime absent. Thank you very much for reminding us to be persistent in using social media. Nokawe. The first thing is to realize that what is to be done and how it is done automatically follows. And that's what you have shown us with a wonderful presentation and shared with us an informative and inspiring presentation on the use of social media and how it can impact everyone's life. You are very judicious to share your vulnerabilities also and your fear of using social media, which of course you won over after DTM Brahms one of the event. However, your persistence, even after getting few comments, confirm your conviction to continue with your LinkedIn post, which inspired me and hope others also to be not in a scenario where you are there but not present. Now, Nakawe, the things which stood out of your presentation, number one, a well-structured speech, your energy, your confidence, and very well presentation. Starting with the rhetoric question, metaphor on Instagram and Monopoly, and use of triad with good vocabulary, and use of simple but very effective words. Your voice was very clear, and I could hear everything you spoke. You kept engaged with the audience with your eye contact throughout the speech and use of vocal variety and symmetrical synchronized gestures, and with a very, very high energy. And I remember when you said, "Oh, what was the program for the Brahm?" That was the time you were the highest of the vocal variety you used. Your human presence, wonderful this time, and with your color combination of your background and your dress were adding to your charisma. Now, the things which can be improved on or add your most stars to your speech is, with all the goodies in your speech, the ending, well, you ended with a quote. And that quote, of course, was having three parts. But I felt that there's missing a call of action, because this is one area in everybody's life which is very important today to be on social media. A call of action with a specific goals. It should have been added to this one, have been added, more stars to your speech. Overall, with all your good vocal variety, your good structure, and human presence, delivering something which is very good for the audience, or a call to action, would have added more star, and people would not leave that they are not on this, they are present, but not present. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Evaluator Paramjit Singh ji. And you mentioned the type of speech also, information and inspiring. And I like the way, but you gave a lot of checklist, laundry lists like vulnerability, well structure. But in well structure, you only mentioned question. Where was the body and where was the closing? Like means when it comes to structure, then you said the speaker was using simple and effective words. You could have given that 2 or 3 simple words, that these words were very simple. And the Zoom presence, of course, yeah. And I completely agree to the call to action. Toastmaster Nakawe, that phrase that you initially used, being famous on Insta is being rich in Monopoly. You can develop that one phrase and you can mint a lot of money with that if you speak professionally, I believe. Thank you very much. So call to action. After your speech, everyone should go and start something like that. That should be there, that what next after the speech. So that was missing, rightly pointed out by our evaluator. Thank you very much. So our next evaluator is going to be Toastmaster Mrinal. Toastmaster Mrinal, the screen is all yours.
Thank you. Mamadou, I'll remember. Investment of share market, I always believe to be evaluated with also share framework. How it is worked? Like S stand for strong starting. A stand for hold attention. A adaptively. R stand for reflect with pauses, and E stand for ineffectiveness. So I'm coming with S. Start strong. Yes. Just like a opening in the share market, to catch his attention, you also create a great impact within the audience. Asking questions, how many of you invested money in share markets? So create, start strong. Second, H stand for hold attention. Just like a share market, we need to hold the stock to gain the value. Or similar way, we assist the speaker to maintain audience interaction throughout your speeches through vocal variety or hand gesture. Next part is important, which I like most about your speeches, is adaptability. Like in share market, we need to be adapt for good returns. Similar way, if we want to connect with the audience, we need some great connection with the audience. And for that, I think one of the key component is required is hand movement. So strong hand movement, I can see throughout your presentations. And that's the key to connect with the audience. To adaptability within you with strong message. I think that's the important charisma you need to require. Next, reflect with pauses. Just like investors, sometimes we are very scared what happened with our return. Sometimes we need to pause with our return also. Similar way, if we connect with the audience, sometimes we need pauses for the better understanding of your message. Like you talk about one thing, which I like you talk about someone scored 2, you say, wow, share market investment scored 2, you should respond with emotional connection also. Why it is required? Emotional connection is required. If someone is not performing well, if you say, wow, he might be my enemy. Please don't do that. I'm already frustrated because I'm getting I invested in the share market, I'm getting just 2 ratings out of 10. Things, what is my feelings? So just try to understand the feelings. So authenticity is very much important. Just keep in mind. And next point I'm talking about with you is end effectiveness. What is end effectiveness? A good investor always wants a great return. And for that, your closing message was really amazing. Connect with the audience. Sometimes we are failure, but how we connect, we never give up. Whatever we are doing, maybe in the relation, maybe in the career, or maybe whatever we are doing in our life, we should do with our best ability. Never give up, whatever path you have to choose. That's all from my end. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Mrinal. You used the technique where you try to use the abbreviations from made an abbreviation and use stock terminology to do that. But I felt because you did that, you could not summarize the evaluation. So one thing that we emphasize in Leadership Speak is we need time to summarize what was good in the speaker and what are the points of development. Other than that, I felt like what you say, it was okay. You used the technique and really appreciate for practicing something new, and the visuals were amazing. It takes a little bit planning before that you have to show something. So thank you very much for that. So our last evaluator is Toastmaster Yusli. Toastmaster Yusli, the screen is all yours. Unmute yourself. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. General Evaluator. Greeting again, colleague Toastmasters and guests, and especially Toastmaster Elena. Toastmaster Constantino, congratulations for your presentation. You started with a strong idiom. Anything worth doing it right. Congratulations, it was captivated, and this only idiom summarized all your presentation and all you wanted to share with the audience. In this presentation, you passionately presented the project that you are working on, the launching of a corporate training and coaching business. We could easily understand what the project is about, when the launch will be in a few days, actually, and how your partner and you are preparing yourself to be ready to offer a quality, well-tailored service, especially with through the questionnaire, the paper that all the questions that you have prepared to evaluate the needs of your client. You also talk about your core values: truth, respect, love, and care. You were standing during all the presentation. Congratulations for that as well. That give a positive impact for your stage presence as a leader. Throughout the presentation, you have shared your interaction with your team based on your values and how you want to impact them by being an exemplary leader. In my opinion, what is missing in your presentation is a clear view of the team. Apart from your partner, we did not present the team. We don't know who are in this team. So we need to know in this presentation who are in the team and what they are doing. This is what was missed globally in the presentation. And you were charismatic with a good presence. I already said that. You had clear voice and you had accurate body language. Congratulations for that. You showed that you believe in your project and you are ready for the launch. Good luck, Toastmaster Elena. Back to you, Mr. General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Yoselin. And you gave a point of development that there were characters in the stories. The team was mentioned by the speaker, but who was there in the team and what they were doing, the role. If that could be added in the story, it could have been really like watching a movie. And Elena is narrating it in an amazing way. Thank you very much for that. Now, the reason why I'm running very fast is because we were running a little bit late. So I made sure that I don't take much time and I went through all the evaluation. But now let me request our timer to share the timings on the screen. Yes, the timer report, Nzinga. Thank you very much. And I would request for the poll for the best evaluator. And here is it. Please vote for it. Yeah, I did it. I hope you didn't see that. Okay, fine. So now, ladies and gentlemen, before I give my final evaluation, I would like to call our last evaluator, that is our grammarian for the day. Grammarian, Glida, I believe. Yes, the charismatic grammarian. The screen is yours.
Thank you, General Evaluator. The word of the day was used 7 times. I'm so proud of all of you. No grammatical mistakes. I listened carefully. The only thing I would like to know is, how do you prepare too much? I like to know that. Beautiful words and sentences, phrases I noted. Cultivate your authenticity from our keynote speaker. Symphony of blends, symphony of blends, sorry. My risk appetite. Anything worth doing them right. And many more, but I'll give it back to the General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Glida. And quickly, let me give my evaluation on how today's meeting went. The meeting started with the Greet Master. The Greet Master was there, smiling and receiving everyone. And I forgot the name of our Greet Master. It was Gricha, I believe. Just correct me, dear members. Gelda. Okay, fine. Thank you very much. So she was radiant, she was smiling, and she was inviting everyone, please come, and encouraging guests to speak. And our SA chipped in 2 minutes before and said the meeting is going to start in 2 minutes. And in exactly 5:30 UAE time, the meeting start. I believe it's 9:30 over there. And from that time, the meeting started flowing. It was like watching Amazon Prime or Netflix movie. Our Surgeon at Arms, then the President, grammarian, all the role players have done amazing. Now, one thing for generally that I would like to share with all the evaluators, and we have been trying to notch up the performance of all the evaluation. Please throw away words like thank you, congratulations, all these things in our evaluation, because the speaker speaks for 7 minutes. We only have 2.5 minutes to give evaluation. What was effective, what was not, summarize. Period. That's it. That is what we want in leadership speak. That is my opinion, and I believe many of you will agree, but it happens that we come back again and again to say thank you and all these things. Please remove all those and just what was effective, what was not, and generally what, like what you say, the Zoom presence. The timer has been doing an amazing job showing the cards on time. The grammarian choose the perfect word, apt word for this particular meeting. And I believe we are improving with every meeting and raising our own bar. So overall, I felt the meeting was very good with the world champion. I don't know whether Ramona would remember me if she is here. I had taken a lot of pictures with you when you were in Dubai, and we had a lot of boxing poses. If you go on Facebook, I will send to you. But your speech gave that punch to me and to each and everyone. Thank you very much for that. So overall, I believe the meeting was amazing as usual. Just remove all that clutters. Thank you, congratulations. And one more thing, last thing. I observed that today all our speakers, if you summarize the opening, we saw a variety of opening. Like Deborah used imagine. Some speakers used questions, right? Some used statements, idiom. So in a single meeting, you saw 3-4 different types of opening, which I believe is a sign of good growth. Or usually you see all the 7 speakers using a single question that what's said. That's usually happens in a community club. So thank you very much. And back to you, to the charismatic Toastmaster of the day, TTM Brown, back to you.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Mr. GE. That was very well done, all the way from Dubai. Now,
thank you.
Just remain here with me, Mr. GE, for a second. So if you can put the GE back on the screen with me, that'll be great. Thank you, Madam Zoom Master. Just very quickly, you were quite right about using superfluous words because that takes up time and really is unnecessary. And you're quite right. In our trainings we've said where were you effective, where could you excel better, what could you just improve, and so on. And the number one thing was, what is the audience's takeaway? This is an advanced club, so we should always be focused on what is the audience's takeaway. You don't want to do a speech there where you're just learning how to speak, which is in a community club. Here you're actually presenting to be effective, and the audience has a takeaway in the end. And as Ramona said, speaking with conviction, with that credibility, that confidence that comes with preparation. You don't prepare a day, 2 days before, even a week before, maybe many weeks before, to plan, to prepare, to think critically as to what's the audience's takeaway, and then build the presentation based on that. Your take, Vinod?
No, exactly. So I think we have repeated this, the 5 P's: proper prior planning prevents poor performance. And it is our mantra that make sure we come prepared. And Ramona mentioned something very amazing, that we often don't take our own advice. Like, we know we need to practice 4 or 5 times, but like we try to take a shortcut. And that point that you have mentioned, for an advanced club or an advanced speaker, I see a lot of aspiring speakers want to be trainers, coaches. What is in there for the audience?
Correct.
That question, after listening to your speech, what will they do next? Are they going to email me about, send me some sample of the coffee bags? Or are they going to ask something else? So what is it that they are going to do? Has to be very clear. Start with the end in mind.
So, if Madam Zoom Master or Mr. Sergeant Arms, if Ramona is in the room, could you just spotlight her here? I mean, this was not on the agenda, but very quickly, since she's here, if she's here, spotlight her, and let's just thank her for our wonderful presentation. Now, Ramona, this is an advanced club, so say what you have to say about our speakers or how we can improve, if you have any, or what the GE did, or anything, or the stage is yours, whatever you want to say. This is an advanced club, so don't hold back.
No, I thought it was amazing. Thank you so much. I thought it was amazing. I would like to see a little more, maybe some props, maybe a little more creativity with the speeches. Bram, you nailed it. You have your your images and you have it down pat. So maybe to be a little more creative with that. But outside of that, I was very impressed. Thank you guys so much.
Well, you know, Ramona, it's time for us to ask the guests if they want to join Leadership Speak. And you are the first guest that I'm going to ask. What did you think of the meeting? And do you want to join Leadership Speak?
The meeting was phenomenal. I get asked to join clubs all the time, so I'm going to continue as a guest. Otherwise, I would be a member of 28 clubs in 28 different countries.
Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for graciously coming in this morning, early in the morning for you, and being with us. And for a well-prepared presentation. Of course, you walked the talk, so thank you very much, and really do appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
With that, ladies and gentlemen, that was the thought of the day. I will now proceed to close this meeting. Before I close this meeting, please launch the awards for the speaker and the evaluator, Zoom Master, Sergeant at Arms, whoever is doing that. Please do that very quickly. And then we will close this meeting and we will go into the voting. I'll speak to the other guests and then we'll go into the voting as well. So in the meantime, while they are launching the poll, I mean, the certificates for the winners here who won today or who was effective, let me look at the screen here and see who is our guest. Now, I ask all the members who are here to put on their videos. We are in advanced club, so we should be showing our face to begin with. So if you're a member, put on your video. Now, I see that Harish Bilji is here from UAE. He was a member about a year ago. And so, Harish, are you there?
Hi, Ram. Nice to see you.
Harish, so good to see you. So how are you doing?
Great, sir.
Good, good. And I do see your movie reviews on Facebook on a regular basis. So you do a lot of reviews on movies. Now, are you thinking of rejoining Leadership Speak, or you just were curious and just joined in today?
I would be repeating what Ramona said, that there are too many clubs right now in my hand. So it is a bit unwieldy, but definitely whenever I see a link, I would jump into it and definitely
Please do. Please join us regardless, as many times and whenever you can. We'll be pleased to host you as a guest. Thank you, Harish, for coming back. Appreciate it. I would also like to introduce to you our brand new members, Mariam Saidavi. She just joined from 1st of November. So Mariam is here with us today, and as well as Mohammed Rubel from Bangladesh. I don't know if he's here amongst us. I don't see him, but if they are there, could you please spotlight them with me here for a second? Madam Zoom Master or Sergeant Arms or whoever can help. Hi, Mariam, how are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome. Welcome to
so
Leadership Speak.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for each member for the today send message in the group. Actually, my pleasure be a part of the leaders, which already I want to learn a lot of from each one, because each one for me valuable person. What actually amazing meeting. Really, still when I compare myself, what I learned during my journey, still I need to learn more and more. And hopefully I can reach my goals, whatever I have in the goals I have. And really amazing meeting. And thank you so much, even for the champion of the world, Ramona. Actually, what we note, he said, yes, that time we are in the Dubai. I have the photo with her. Really, I'm surprised when I see her in the screen. Oh my goodness! Again, I see her because really she's amazing in the stage, even up to now. And hopefully we'll meet her again in this platform. And thank you so much. And there will be, I need the support me, and I want to learn from each one of the best leaders. That's it.
Thank you very much. And we also have Mohammed Rubel there. I think he's put on his video so I can see him. If you can just spotlight him very quickly. Hi, Mohammed, welcome. And a brief note from you. Good to see you. All the way from Bangladesh, by the way.
Yeah, Mrs. President, it's great. And finally, actually, it happens actually. I joined finally leadership speak, there are a lot of things happen. And I was not, even though I was a member of 2 clubs in my country, but I was not regular in Toastmasters journey. But the reason behind to join leadership speak that that you have the regular meeting every week. That is very good. And for me, actually, I was looking for a club that is online and advanced club. So this is, I think, this for me convenient because I'm challenging. I'm facing a very good challenge and for my professional life. So this is, I think, one of the best platform to reach my best level.
Yes.
Thank you. Yeah.
Mohammed, I know it was quite a bit of a struggle to get you on board because of where you live and so on, but we finally did it. It took quite a while, but so welcome on board. I know you were very determined to be a member here, so congratulations, and definitely you will grow and learn with a steep learning curve. Welcome. With that, let me see if there's any other guests that we can speak to, and then we will go into our voting for our Vice President of Public Relations. Nora Muwanga. Nora, are you there? So I ask the guests if you want to speak.
Yes, I am.
Please put on your video, Nora.
Oops, that might not be possible at this time.
Okay, all right. Well, Nora. So
how are you?
I'm doing very well. And how are you doing? And where are you from? Probably from Kenya?
No, from Uganda.
You're from Uganda, all right.
Yeah.
And how did you hear about Leadership Speak?
I get messages on my email and my WhatsApp number about the meetings. I'm not so sure how it started. So I just love the fact that it's virtual and I can participate in it in the comfort of my space.
Wonderful. Thank you very much. And are you wanting to join Leadership Speak? We invite you to fill in the guest book and if you want to.
I have filled in the guest book.
Wonderful.
I need, no, just to give you feedback, but okay, I've also indicated that I wouldn't mind to join the club. I just want to just remind myself where I am with my pathways. For some reason, I didn't enjoy pathways so much, so I haven't progressed as fast as I should.
I see.
But I believe that this might inspire me to pick up and move faster.
Super. Yes, we do require that you complete level 3 before you can join.
Yes.
Thank you. All right, with that, thank you. Thank you. I see that we have also Arvin Pereno. Hello, Arvin. Okay. With that, I will begin to close this meeting. I see that we have the certificates ready now. So our best speaker, Rosie Rana, congratulations. Rosie, coffee for everyone.
Thank you, Brom.
And the best effort evaluator is the next certificate is Yusli Joseph. Thank you very much. Now, for the benefit of audience here, Yusli Joseph and Marie were very, very close together. If I was able to vote, because I'm a co-host, I couldn't vote. If I'd voted for Marie, they would be together, and they would both be winners. So could you prepare a certificate for Marie as well as the best effort evaluator? They were just one vote apart. So if you can do that, that'll be great. Thank you very much. Marie, thank you so much for doing a wonderful evaluation. It was very well done. And I was very impressed with your evaluation. Thank you.
I agree.
Now, with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will call this meeting agenda for the guests only. For members, please remain. It will take only 5 minutes only. I would ask the recording to be switched off and the streaming to be switched off. This meeting is adjourned.